here in Pall Mall, a very prestigious setting for a very prestigious event indeed. It is the ERA and Hero Awards, and we are we're good. We're just sorting out a few problems with our camera. So this is all nice and live, and Will's getting the hang of it now. Marcus Simmons, journalist. Do you know much about Simmons? About vintage car world? Do you know what they let yourself in for?
Not really. No. Always happy to try new things.
Well,
I did a bit of work for you years ago on BMW Classic doing the job. Of course you did. That is the sum total of my knowledge.
Right, well, on the job in 2017 was where it all started for me.
Yeah.
Because that was a drive in the drive BMW with Hero. You wrote the story. I ended up going through the ice and snow 4 days, nearly 5 days, without very much sleep, and then we ended up getting bronze medals, which is quite special. So see that man, that's Mr. Carey there, Chase Carey from Formula One.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Is this your car?
And it is.
Are you looking forward to the new season?
Yeah, enjoying a little bit of less drama right now, but it'll come fast enough.
Calm before the storm. The testing starts in Barcelona very soon. Because
I know it.
We're having a big awards evening for all the guys from Peking Paris. We've got a few American colleagues tonight, guys from around the world have won big trophies on classic rallies and endurance. Yeah, they're all happening in here tonight, which is pretty prestigious for us. Listen, good luck.
Nice to meet you.
Have a great season.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye. So there was that was the Chief Executive of Formula One coming in through the door there in Pall Mall at the RAC. Marcus, listen, enjoy the night. You're going to meet people like Jerry Crown, who's won 3 times on Peking Paris. You're going to meet a lot of winners across the Hero evening, and you're going to write about them later on. Go upstairs into the bar. We'll catch you up with you there, and we'll see you at the table. You're on my table.
Okay, lovely.
So behave.
Of course. All right, see you in a minute.
So we're just going to go outside and have a look at the setting here in Pall Mall. It's David. So this is the scene in Pall Mall. This is the head of motoring, if you like, in the United Kingdom. Royal Automobile Club. They are associated with ERA and with Hero, with events like 1,000 Mile Trial and of course with the RAC Rally of Vitesse. So it's a great association between this august organisation and this steeped in history. Not far from here, London Brighton Run starts, where you have all the pioneer and vintage cars running all the way for the evening. This glittering prize giving. The awards are for Golden Roma, Best Navigator over the season in Hero, and also for the Hero Cup, which is for the driver with the most points that they've accumulated over the season. So we've had lots of incredible events, ending up with Rally of Vitesse and the Jog, and it came down to the wire, as you will see later on when we make those awards to those people who've really earned them. We're going to, and the rules say that you can use whatever car you want to use, but you obviously have to be the same driver, and the navigator can swap cars, drivers, partnerships. It's the navigator that picks up the points for the Golden Roma. And Will and I will show you some of the trophies in the room in a little while and set that scene up there too.
Hi, good evening. How are you? It's Teresa, this is Tony.
Teresa,
Oh, and I know he's got one that works.
Well, what I should say is that is live on Facebook.
Oh, is it
At
really?
the moment, Andrew. So, what I would say to you is welcome to. Lovely to meet you. I'm sorry there's no trophies for you tonight. But
Again?
I've been told that the mantelpiece is so full there's no room for any trophies anyway. True. It's a bit of clutter, is there?
Yeah.
Bit of clutter.
I would say that.
I wouldn't say it's clutter. It's just nicely placed.
Well, listen, enjoy the evening.
Okay.
We'll see you as we walk around.
Thank you.
So, Alexander Gurdon, who's one of the top navigators, and some of you that are watching live with us will recognise him. Many victories, and here it is, the beautiful Alfa Romeo. Which, Jane Wiggum was driven. So she drove that along. Actually, she had a terrible time getting to the job because the car wasn't firing right. It had problems with some punctures on the motorway. She ended up at the fast lane of the motorway with a puncture, which caused some issues as well. And if you look over there, you can see both of the chicks who were the winners of Lisbon.
This has got very similar lines to my dad's Alfa.
I hope you don't mind that we're live on Facebook.
Oh, are we?
So
Oh, good.
quite a few people are looking
Lucky,
because,
lucky old Facebook.
yeah, well, because it's the ERA awards as well tonight.
Yeah.
And we've got some of them. So quite a few of our American friends looking on, as well as our European friends. So have you got over the win yet from London-Lisbon?
I don't know. What do you think? I still keep talking about it whenever I go out.
Yeah, I think if you ask our families, they'd say definitely not. We're still dining out on that. Yeah.
So you don't mind tonight if we have a bit of talk about wooden chains and
No, you can. You
Yeah,
can.
you
In fact, the wooden chains have gone
no,
at massive cost.
No,
Yeah,
no.
unbelievable.
That was the only thing holding it together. It's going to fall apart.
And for those of you that are listening to us and watching us live at the moment, the Chicks had a fantastic run on London-Lisbon in their Healy 3 litre, but the rear suspension collapsed and it was lashed together with wood and chains. And these two gentlemen did an absolutely brilliant job to nurse it, but just do enough to hold on to the win. So it's brilliant to see you both here tonight. Father and son, of course, what a combination. Couldn't have better. But yes, sort of admiring the Alfa Romeo.
Yes. Yes. My father used to have one not dissimilar to that back in the day.
I love them.
It's beautiful.
I think Jane did a great job, didn't she?
Yeah, she's a wonderful driver.
Because she was on your event in the Tiger.
Yeah, yeah, she was.
But you beat her.
Well, yeah, we did. But she was driving wonderfully. Must have been a navigator.
Listen, enjoy the evening.
Thanks
Lovely
very
to see you
much.
both. We'll see you in a wee while. Thank you. And this is a very, very special space where they only put very special cars that have significance, that have won a lot of events. And very recently, Paddy Hopkirk's Mini Cooper S was in just this space, still covered in all its dirt from the ROC Rally of the Test and Steve Entwistle won. It was a great sight for everybody to see. So some of our journalist colleagues are arriving now. So there's quite a few of the journalists that are here tonight. What we're going to do is take you upstairs and look into the room where the trophies are, and you will see what is up for grabs tonight. So if we just go up the staircase and we can maybe look at some of the incredible pictures as we go along. Some of you may not have been inside the Royal Automobile Club here in Pall Mall before, but as you can already see and feel, it is as we go up the staircase and His Royal Highness Prince Michael, a great motorsport fan and a great supporter and of course official officer for many years of the Royal Automobile Club. Note the Windsor knot on the tie. Great to have his support. looking at the sort of tradition that you see and how far back the RAC, the Royal Automobile Club, goes, is a fantastic picture of Felice Navarro in the Fiat, and behind him is a Renault in one of those great races. And we don't forget that motorsport started in France. Again, Gatti. And as we go further up the staircase, you'll see, of course, a picture of Her Majesty the Queen.
Hello, darling.
What's happening here? The reception area where the guests are checking in. And you can see the distribution of largesse there from Patrick Burke, who's the managing director of Hero ERA, and Helen John over there, who looks after all the finances of the group, which is really important. So most of the guests are going to gather in here and have a pre-event drink before they move forward into the Mountbatten room, where the dinner and the awards will be held, and that's a pretty lovely room as well.
We're just getting
Go away.
And now you get into the atrium on the way to the Mountbatten room. As you can see, it's just Paul Wigley and Jane Wigley. Jane will be on the stage later on, having won the Hero Cup. And at one stage, she didn't know what the point score was and had to be reminded what the point score was. And then she went into battle later on. Evening, Paul. Evening, Jane. How are we just talking about you? You're very welcome. We'll be seeing you on stage a little bit later on.
Right.
Nice to see you. That's Frank from Chester, Australia, just went past. Photographer. Does a lot of the pictures from a company called Blue Passion. Those of you that follow us on Hero and the ERA sites, you will have seen some of his work, along with Will Broadhead's work on camera tonight. So slightly different departure for Will tonight. I hope he's doing all right. He's having a bit of a problem with his gyroscopic camera holder at the moment. But yeah, this is the walk that they will make in about 45 minutes time. And they will see those two very, very famous logos indeed. The Hero logo, the ERA logo. And everything is prepared for a sumptuous meal. And we'll go and have a look at some of the trophies now. Before we do that, let me just tell you that all the guests are going to receive this fabulous book, which has been put together by the creative director Christian van Sanden, and it covers some of the great events of the year. There, for example, is Bill Kleindirt and Lee Powley in the Ford, the 1930s Ford, winners of the Flying Scotsman in 2019. Lee Powley will be with us. Sadly, Bill's not with us tonight. And isn't it weird that I managed to open the book at the page of one of the great pictures of Will Broadhead? I don't know how that happened, Will. I really don't. But that is pretty nice indeed to receive that. Right. Nota Giacomo design. This guy, Stefano Nota Giacomo, has designed these very, very special trophies, which you can see is the Golden Roma over there, and this one here is the Hero Cup. And these very, very unique and very special awards will be presented tonight. That award will be presented by Ben Cousins, who's the chairman of the Royal Automobile Club. This one will be presented to Jane Wignall, who we met just a little while ago, by David Richards, CBE, who's the chairman of Motorsport UK and former World Rally Champion co-driver in 1981 with Ari Vatanen, well known to many motorsport fans. You can see also the winning navigator, in this case it'll be Roger Bricknell, will receive the Golden Roma Award. And as I'll be pointing out from the stage later on when Roger comes up to get his award, he is the only person amongst Hero and ERA who's managed to win both the Hero Cup and the Golden Roma. The Hero Cup he won when he was a driver in 2011, and we know he's chuffed to pieces absolutely in winning the Golden Roma now for his navigational skills, driven mainly by his son Thomas in their Golf GTI. That car, or a car very similar to it, is featured on the Hero Spotlight this month, this January. If you go onto the Hero website, you will see it there. There's a little bit about VW Motorsport, people like Jockey Kleint who were involved there, but how it's become just such an incredible classic car in its own right, still so very, very competitive in the world of classic rallying, particularly on long distance events like the RSC Rally of Vitesse, like Le Jog. So that's setting the scene for you really, and you can see where I shall be working from up here on the lectern for a little while, but I'm going to start my presentation from in the room. I'm going to go around the room a little bit in a while, as you will see, and that's when we come back on air to stream from 7:30 p.m. in about 40 minutes time when all the proceedings starts. I think it's important to point out here that we have some very special awards. Special awards first of all to two wonderful people who marshal on most of the events, who help out making sure that the events actually happen, that everything ticks. Even working on route planning with Guy Woodcock, who is the competition director for Hero and ERA, and they're going to be awarded. In fact, that will be the first award tonight. Then we have a series of special awards, very, very special awards indeed, for some stars from Peking Paris, that 36-day grueling event, which took place in June to July 2019. It only happens every 3 years, and that was the 7th running of the event, the first one being in 1907, of course. So the candelabra, the candles are lit on the table, and preparations are pretty much finalised before the glittering evening starts. I'm going to put that back. So for quite a few people, this being the end of their season, although it's celebrating 2019 and it's January, this is the time to really celebrate all the achievements of the drivers and the navigators and the organisers over such a hectic season between the Endurance Rally Association and Hero events as well. So we've had events like the Three Legs of Man, which was a really ferocious battle. We've had incredible longer distance events like London to Lisbon. We've had the Adriatic Adventure. We've had the Icelandic Saga. And towards the end of the year, the RAC Rally of the Tess, which is relentless. It goes on and on and on. And then the big daddy of them all, the 25th anniversary Le Jog, which goes from Land's End all the way up to John O'Groats, north of Scotland, and ends up with the prize giving in Wick. But that one is about endurance, that one is about staying power. Here tonight have managed that in an extraordinary way, managing to keep everything together, the car together, the navigation together. Again, another lovely view with Jane Rigmus, Alfa Romeo, taking that central space there and looking absolutely magnificent. Now, we are expecting Jerry Crown tonight. We are also expecting Anton Gonneson, who, those of you that follow Peking Paris will know that he set out to achieve that which August Pons failed to achieve in 1907. They only didn't finish the event in 1907, which of course was a great pity. And Anton decided that he would rebuild the trike, an old trike, and he would try and finish the job that August Pons failed to finish. And he did that in superb fashion. He not only was the first Pioneer vehicle back in 2019, he finished 16th overall in the vintage category. It was just an absolutely remarkable performance. So he's a record breaker in his own right. He's rewritten history in his own right. So we are very, very happy indeed. If indeed we do get Anton, he said he's going to be here. I hope he's here. Haven't seen him yet. And Jerry Crown, who's won Peking to Paris 3 times, won his class on it a further 2 times, so 5 Peking to Parises. And all the other events that he has participated in, and he's won so many, like London, Sydney. Incredible man who's in his 87th year. Very sprightly indeed. Must all be in the genes. And I'm sure we will talk to him about that a little later on. So again, through the gallery, got a lot of very important people from the World Automobile Club. So we walk around the gallery and the colonnades. It is so impressive, and it is such a privilege to be in the awards here tonight. It's truly amazing. That, we pointed out, is Patrick Burt. We'll have a quick word with Patrick just before he goes to work.
How are you?
Good luck tonight. Hope everything
very
goes
much.
well. As you know, we're live on Facebook at the moment. So what do you hope would be the outcome from this evening?
Well, I think that the most important thing is that this is the first time that we have Hero ERA families united together. We show solidarity between the 2 platforms. We show that there is unity between the usual ERA competitors and the Hero competitors, and it should grow like this. It should be, now there is a bit of both. There is the endurance, there is the championships like the Hero Cup, and so La Familia. We are together. We are together.
Well, listen, good luck.
Thank you very much.
See you out there.
And I don't always walk around with glasses of wine, by the
No,
way.
it's somebody else's, I'm
Right.
sure. I'm sure it is. So there you go, that was Patrick Burt. And we will see Thomas de Vargas Machuca, who's the chairman of Hero ERA as well. And they are the 2 partners and directors of the business, which is growing. It is flourishing. It has been a very hard but successful year. So that's it for now in this first segment on Facebook from myself, Tony Jardine. I will be hosting tonight. And then Will and some of the other cameras in the room will hopefully pick up all the action. Well, there is a little bit of action to start with. Hopefully there is. The presentations, the speeches, Particularly looking forward to Thomas de Vargas Machuca's speech, because that's going to be quite special when he talks about what is ahead and congratulates the people that have done well so far. So thank you for being with us, and we will see you again at 7:30.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome. If you'd like to take your seats, please. Yes, if you'd like to find your seat, just check the table plan if you haven't. We are about to start. I know. Right, ladies and gentlemen, please sit down now. Thank you. Find your seats and sit down. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start. Thank you for your kind attention. Right, first of all, I would like to welcome you all. I'd like to welcome you all on behalf of Hero and ERA to this awards evening, to the Royal Automobile Club. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Before we start, as ever, please remember we are in a competitive environment. There is a lot of exhaust fumes in here tonight, but there will be no congestion charge, which is good news at the same time. As the Royal Automobile Club are associated with ERA and Hero very, very closely indeed. They have decided, in fact, our competition director, Guy Woodcock, has decided that there will be a mini test inside the room starting very soon. Everything is by the clock, as you know. Competition, he's always in his element. But I am the one charged with trying to take the Pall Mall test. It's very short, bogey time 0 minutes and 24 seconds, maximum time 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And in that time, I have to go round the room and let you know, preview some of the incredibly august people who are here with us tonight, who have won championships. Basically, anybody who is anybody in the world of historic motoring is here tonight. Mr. White, are you going to start the clock, or is this a self-start? Self-start, fine, no problem at all, but I'm sure you can let me know what's going on. So I'm off and running, and we come straight away to Anton Gunnarsson, ladies and gentlemen. What a star from Peking, Paris. I think we all know what Anton has achieved, apart from the fact that he did what Auguste Pons failed to do and got it all the way back to Paris. It was absolutely brilliant. 36 days in the saddle, out of the saddle. He's actually celebrating tonight because this is the first time he's been able to sit down for 6 months. So congratulations. And you look very happy sitting, so you are. I was seeing at Inge, good evening, very warm welcome to you as well. And we move over here and we get to superstar Jerry Crown, the Triple Crown. Yes. And Matt Bryson, his navigator, who rebuilds the cars as well. Absolutely fabulous, though. Why he would want to drive a Leyland from the 70s, I have no bloody idea, other than the fact that he assures us that Red Robbo had bugger all to do with building that car, so that's good news as well. Now over here, the Swiss are here as well. Daniel Gresley, who's been very close a few times. Stephen Owens next to him over there, who was very close this time and will be visiting us up on the stage in a little while. Bruno and Carmo Rodriguez. Carmo, stand up, please. There we are. Oh, you are standing up. No, that's good. What a petite winning navigator, always smiling, very, very popular on the Adriatic. Lovely for you to come to Portugal. I've got a wee problem with the code board. Can you help me decide? So was it left of table 10? Oh my God, I'm all over the place. The clock is ticking. Thank you very much. Take your seats. We won't be long. We carry on moving along. I know I've got a speed round here. I've got a triple caution here and hazard warning. Beware of the table of the three chairmen. I don't know why. There's Ben Cousins, ladies and gentlemen, who's the chairman of the Royal Automobile Club. Ben, can I just say thank you very much indeed for allowing us all into your front room. It's very, very lovely. We do like it. And Serena, we'll try and not to make such a mess next time. An alert, shh. You're not looking, are you? Legend in the room. David Richards, CBE over here, world champion co-driver. Not just world champion co-driver, but of course, he is the chairman of Motorsport UK. He's the chairman of ProDrive. He was the former chairman of Aston Martin as well. Do you think there's a chance of a free license upgrade for? No, I didn't think there was, you miserable git. So therefore, as we navigate our way around here, I think I'm doing all right. Brian's still against the clock. Left of table 5, 6, no, here it is. Agneta, there she is. That very, very rapid Viking lady in the Mercedes. Don't get in her way because she's on the way to Valhalla. That's what, you really mustn't do that. Klaus Müller, wo bist du? Was ist los mit der Auto, huh? You were on the road to nowhere last time we saw you. We were pushing your Lancia out the ditch. No, it's a muddy road. No, you can't answer. We don't know. We don't want to know what happened over here. So I'm just going to make my way. This is the course. Left of 9, right of 2. I've got to quickly tell you about what's going on in this table. Because Stephen and Alexander Chick managed to win London to Lisbon with their car, rear suspension lashed with wood and loads of chains. So many chains, you would have thought it was a Fraser-Nash. But it wasn't. It was the Healy 3-litre. I've got a headline here. I don't think you'll like this, Steve. They said, "Chicks rule the roost." It's a great headline, wasn't it? Did you enjoy that? Right. Here is a man who stole Paddy Hopkirk's car to win the RSC Rally of the Test, Steve Entwistle. Hello, Enty. And he's taught me to do a bit of that Lancashire. What you have to do is put your tongue in the side like that. You know, and go like that. How are you getting on in bright lights of London, Evan? You all right? You behaving? All right. Yeah, that's good. Right. Stephen Owens is over there. He's from Yorkshire. When you go to his house and you come out, he says, "Put gate back on hinges when you bloody leave, will you?" So I'm just saying, between Lancashire and Yorkshire, no bloody War of the Roses tonight. Behave this end, all right? Oh, now here's a table. Mr. Elliott's here on this table, I think he is. Good evening, Mr. Elliott. Nice. You're going to get some mega stories on this table, let me absolutely tell you. Oh, here is Stuart Anderson, ladies and gentlemen. What this man does with his 1936 Bentley is nobody's business. Gold medal on the jog. Stu. Yeah, he says it's all down to his daughter, Emily, of course. But when we were filming in the middle of the night, me and Gary, we know what his nickname is because she's coming through these, we won't call them stages, but they were regularities. And all in the middle of the night, "Oh, Stu Bear, it's left here, Stu Bear, not right, Stu Bear." That's your nickname, isn't it? Lovely, eh? Stu Bear, we like her. And by the way, before we finish, we have found Lee Powley. I think it's Lee Powley because I can't recognize him because he hasn't got his leather helmet on and his goggles, and he's splattered a little bit with mud. And as you know, he only likes open-top cars. If he gets a car with a roof on it, he cuts the roof off. That's what he does. I can't recognize him. So I tell you, just before you do, so everyone knows who you are, I think what you should do, Lee, is just put that on briefly. And those goggles. Stand up, Lee. Stand up. Stand up, stand up. There he is. The winner of the Flying Scotsman, ladies and gentlemen. So many winners in the room. Such an incredible thing. So I think I'm looking for the stopper stride. Oh, here it is, right between my legs. No problem at all. Stop the clock. I think I've won, haven't I, Brian? Have I won? Oh, no, a little bit over. I'm very sorry. Well, that's my little bit. That's my little contribution to the evening. Now, let's see what you've all been up to in 2019. Thank you to Gary Williams, Drive TV, a fantastic composite video. Now it's time to hear from the chairman of Hero and ERA, Thomas Tavares Machuca.
Well, thank you, Tony. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, fellow competitors, partners, and friends, a very well welcome here tonight at the Royal Automobile Club for our annual Hero Cup Awards. But tonight, of course, we're incorporating ERA Awards as well. So for the first time, it becomes the Hero ERA Awards. So together we provide all kind of classic vintage rallying competition, which is really at the heart of what we do. And you competitors, officials, media, partners, sponsors, and organizing teams have helped to make this 2019 such a successful year. A great year that we're celebrating here tonight together. So thank you obviously to the Royal Automobile Club for hosting us yet again, and for the valuable partnership that we enjoy. A partnership that extends, of course, from the support to the legendary RAC Rally the Tests, to the Royal Automobile Club 1,000-mile trial, which was established in the year 1900, making it actually the oldest event for motorcar in the world. So thank you to the chairman of the club and dear friend Ben, who's here with us tonight. He needs really very little introduction. A man on top of his game on all occasions, as a chairman, as a racing driver, as a rally man, as a skier. Ben, thank you very much. Moreover, you know, obviously we have to remember that we couldn't operate without the legislation required and the support and collaboration and understanding from Motorsport UK, whose chairman, David Richards, CBE, is also here with us tonight. David, who again also really needs no introduction, as Tony said, is a World Rally champion, a former Formula One team principal, a pilot, an entrepreneur, and I may dare say, good friend as well. David, thank you for your support over the years, your passion and enthusiasm to the extent of competing in an open-top pre-war car on the Flying Scotsman. And actually, we did try to throw everything at you, the weather that the northern countries allow, but no, you and Peter Lovett had to beat it all to come into a fantastic fourth overall on what is actually the toughest event for pre-war cars in the calendar. So I guess you can say that you can really take the man out of rallying, but you can't really take the rallying out of the man. So thank you for being here tonight, David. And the Flying Scotsman is actually one example of the successful integration between Hero and the ERA. And of course, we were a little bit nervous at the beginning of this year when we ran the first event jointly. But suffices to say that the Scotsman actually was already overbooked 9 months before the official date. So thank you for the support and the confidence that you're giving us. More generally, we've been really successful in bringing new people into the sport through our training and basing event initiatives, such as the Hero Challenges. These are obviously low-cost one-day events from which over 30% of entrants have gone through to do the next level rallies. Basically, an army of enthusiasts, of men and women, is being developed who no doubt will be here in the future collecting awards and recognition. Our epic Le Jog this year, the toughest event in the Western world, as some people say, it celebrated its 25th anniversary with a bumper international entry of 12 different countries and the largest entry for pre-war cars since we got involved with Hero more than a decade ago. And in 2019, of course, the Peking to Paris Motor Challenge was awarded Motorsport Event of the Year from the Historic Motoring Awards. And everybody was absolutely ecstatic by this recognition, as it is, for all intents and purposes, the most incredible motorsport event for classic cars and vintage cars, and actually a lifetime achievement for all those who take part on it in whatever function they do. As one competitor said, and I think, Anthony, it was you, this is where enthusiasts become heroes. And we're currently sitting on more than 700 entries, requests for the next event. So, the P2P really was an amazing adventure, and it epitomizes by three of our special guests tonight. The remarkable Jerry Crown, where you're sitting over there, a three-time P2P winner at the age of 87, I may say. There's debate as to whether that's accurate or not, but I think it's really more 27, you take off the mask and, it's like a Hollywood film. But anyway, Jerry finished all five of the events that he started and won last year's edition with his amazing P76 with Matt Bryson sitting by his side. And we're delighted to have our friend and adventure extraordinaire and architect Anton Gonnessen Sr. You know, Anton decided to finish the job that Auguste Pons failed to do in 1907 with a precarious three-wheeler Moto3 Comtal. So not only did he cross the line in Paris first in the Pioneer class, but it was also 16th overall in the vintage car category, rewriting history that obviously was 112 years later, and laying Auguste Pons's, if you want, ghost to rest. To put this into perspective, and I told them during the Peking to Paris, more people have actually walked on the moon than achieved what him and the Herminator, Jürgen Gehlen, actually did. Really quite an amazing achievement. And if you think that record-breaking is enough with these two characters, let's also talk about the third record breaker, Mitch Gross and Christopher Rolfe. Thank you for being here tonight. Actually, they were able to steam their way from Peking to Paris in a 1910 Pullman steam car. You'll see pictures of it later. And these guys were rebuilding furnaces and boilers en route. I mean, an amazing world distance record for a veteran steam car. I think the longest ever event, obviously, being quite a lengthy longer. I mean, for me, this is simply amazing. So really well done again. On the Hero side, our European Hero events saw 72 drivers and 68 navigators battling it out on the Hero Cup and Golden Roamer, which we will obviously be awarding later to the championship winner, driver, and navigator, respectively. And these highly competitive events, very sought after, well, they're actually the result of incredible work by the recipients during the season. Paul Crosby isn't with us tonight, but if you remember 2017, he was able to lift apart from somebody else to clinch it at the very last minute on the very last test. And this is pretty much what happened this year. You know, battling it down to the wire and winning it by a matter of seconds. So in total, the Hero and ERA saw more than 800 entries in 2019 with 40 different nationalities across 11 different events. We rallied through 23 different countries, and we traveled more than 29,000 kilometers of competitive rallying. Thank you, Guy. So I guess it's fair to say that we are the global rally platform. And with this amazing achievement, you know, I think comes significant responsibility. And the responsibility really towards protecting historic motoring, the responsibility towards protecting the craftsmanship and engineering necessary to keep these cars fit, authentic, reliable, and as safe as possible. And we face today more than ever, you know, the problem of sustainability. And not only really in regards to what I just mentioned, but really in regards to our environment. So, you know, in 2019, we stopped giving out plastic bottles, for example, to our competitors and replacing them with thermoses that clearly can be reused. But this was just really, literally a drop in the middle of the ocean. So behind the scenes, 2019, the team worked towards thinking of different ways to have, if you want, greater impact and pioneer sustainability within our passion and actually for our passion. So we have therefore decided to be the first carbon neutral platform in our segment. So we're in the process of setting up the necessary processes to monitor how much actually carbon emissions are attributable to what we do. This includes the traveling necessary for you know, the route recce's, the planes that we take, the cars that we use, and everything obviously in between. So we'll be collecting a lot of data in 2020, but rather than purchasing carbon certificates, which I guess is the easy way around, given that we are heroes and our motto is per ardua ad infinitum, we're actually going to be planting trees. Yep, absolutely right, planting trees. And so we're partnering up with Timberland Investment Resources, which is incidentally one of the world leaders in forestry, who will help us achieve this goal. So I didn't certainly know, but I found out recently that 1 hectare of trees absorbs roughly 6.5 tons of carbon and actually generates 16 tons of oxygen. This effectively you know, hectare will hold roughly 1,100 trees, and it's difficult to, you know, understand what this actually means. So it's the equivalent of 4 round trips Europe to the US, no, and back, obviously it's a round trip, so, you know, 4 trips, so it's just significant. Or, by analysis that we did, represents effectively like driving 21,600 kilometers on the average modern car. I don't know what that will mean when we get the data for the classic car, but whatever that data is, we'll be planting trees in order to absorb all of that. So, you know, really we want Hero to be leaders and not followers in this crucial fight. But But anyway, back to tonight. We look forward to saluting our winners later. And really, please accept my heartfelt thanks for all the wonderful contributions in 2019 across every facet of the sport. A big thank you go to our volunteers, of course, our officials, and of course our motor clubs, without whom obviously we couldn't do what we do. In thanking our important partners, such as the Classic Yacht Experience, our proud sponsor of tonight's event, but it also gives me great pleasure to announce a new partnership with Michelin. They are world-famous tire manufacturers, of course, with major heritage and incredible motorsport history. So thank you and welcome to Lorenzo Giovanelli, who's with us tonight, Director of Specialty Products, and Peter Shaw, Manager, Prestige, Original Equipment and Vintage, and we look forward to obviously speaking to you later. And to our teams in Wales, Bicester, Oxford, obviously as you will find out, we're trying to bring you all together under the same roof. Thank you to our talented people who have helped Hero ERA become such a success. To my friend and business partner, Patrick Burke, Guy Woodcock, Brian White, Eleonora Piccolo, Tony Jardine, and all of their respective teams. Really, thank you to all. 2020 will be an important year for the group, as all the teams will be coming under one roof at Bicester Heritage, where we're nearing the completion of our headquarters. So big thank you to Philip White here with us tonight, and Dan Geegan, who's not with us tonight. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but nonetheless. But jokes aside, on another note, you will have found the superbly illustrated book on the seats, summarizing really the competition that went on in 2019, and it was put together by our creative director, Christian von Zanden. Thank you very much, with the spectacular pictures from the Rastrellis, Francesco and Roberta, and obviously Will Broadhead. So anyway, thank you all for this amazing year. Let's do it all again in 2020 in a green and sustainable Hero ERA family. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed, Thomas. And I'd now like to invite to the stage Ben Cussons, the chairman of the Royal Automobile Club. Ben.
Well, a very warm welcome to you all, well, with a few notable exceptions. Guy, there are hours of my life I will never get back in Wales, so I'll forgive you one day. I had hoped to open by announcing the first award tonight, which was going to go to Thomas for beating the bookies' expectations on the length of his speech. 9 minutes 55 was the strong money, but I'm afraid it was 10 minutes 38. I don't know where Brian's gone, but I'm sure he'll work out your points, penalty points a little bit later. So welcome to our beautiful clubhouse in Pall Mall. We're very proud of our clubhouse and proud of our motoring heritage. This particular building was opened in 1911, designed by Mevis and Davis, who were the sort of fostering co of their day. It was a celebration of all the good things that happened in motoring, but our motoring heritage started a lot earlier, in 1897, when we were first founded, on the back of the very first London and Brighton Emancipation Run, which in some way or form was probably an early rally. Regularity, slow, but definitely a rally. It didn't take us long to work out that actually rallying was the way to go, and obviously we had the first 1,000-mile trial in 1900. But I'm very sad to report driving standards were very poor that year. And by 1903, we felt compelled to introduce driving licenses before even the government had introduced them, to try and improve the standards of some of our early motorists. 1907, we received royal patronage from King Edward VII. And then in 1926, we hosted the first British Grand Prix at Brooklands, which was run by Seneschal in a Delage. 1932 was another good year for rallying, and we held the first RAC rally, and it's described here as coachwork competition. Now, some of you haven't made much of a contribution to coachwork over the years, have you? You don't have to put your hands up. The evidence is there to see, Thomas included. In 1948, we held the first post-war British Grand Prix, starting motorsport in the UK again. Since then, we've been very closely involved with the governance of motorsport, that's now independent and chaired by David. In 1999, we sold the motoring service arm, so if any of you have broken down over the last couple of decades, it's nothing to do with us. Which brings us to tonight, a celebration of fun, friendship and achievement. And I'm delighted that some of you are going to go home with some lovely rose bowls, things to put your spanners. You can even clean your paintbrushes in those, really, can't you? But as for those mechanical things, Rallying for me is a relatively new concept. Very much I owe Thomas the debt for introducing me to it. I've traditionally stuck to going around in fairly tight circles around circuits on the basis every time I got the corner wrong, it wasn't very long before I came round again. I could practice it again. There are some around here who will say I still haven't succeeded, and I'll probably accept that. But it has become a real passion. I've done several 1,000-mile trials and a couple of Rally of the Test with Jonathan Turner, that well-renowned, highly successful Yorkshire rally driver. So you obviously know him. It's not easy. I mean, it takes a tremendous amount of agility, driving skill, and of course you need a brilliant mathematician in the car there to work out the numbers. That's where I think probably Jonathan and I go wrong. I know we're going to celebrate the winners tonight, but I thought we ought to just celebrate some of the unsung heroes of Hero. Sadly, Guy, I'm not talking about you or Brian. I thought we ought to talk about Patrick and Thomas. Now, as you know, we probably don't. Patrick is very much the quicker driver, but he showed he was quicker, and after that he was immediately confined to a permanent status of official flag wave of the Hero and ERA. Thomas, however, still rather fancies himself as a bit of a racing driver, don't you, my friend? And, well, what can I say? He is a panel beaters and mechanics delight. You can be guaranteed there will be lots of work afterwards. I did take the opportunity to ask a well-known source, and we're all into sources now with Meghan and Harry, aren't we? So my source is about as reliable as theirs, but probably, about Thomas's racing or rallying career. I got various quotes. He's very selective about rallies. He enters a lot, but participates in rather fewer due to meetings. However, I have got a list of his successes. Some of them are quite... I mean, let's look at London-Lisbon in a Riley with a Lees White. He broke down in the middle of the night, couldn't fix it, so packed up. Brilliant. Rally of the Test 2018, I remember this. It says here he just punched the rear shock clean through the body. He also took most of the back of the car off as well. And then a slightly more personal note, the Jog 2017 in ice and snow, he hit 2 snowbanks twice, battering the car a bit. He also crashed into what is now an employee of ERA. Here a couple of other, I mean, there's a few third in classes, 10, 5A. There's a good one here, 15th best in regularities on the Rally of the Test 2017. There were only 14 entries in that class. So, enough berating my good friend. You're all enormously welcome. Please don't leave too early. The bars are open. And it's a brave man that stands between you and your food. So, thank you very much. I wish you a great evening. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Ben. It was about time that was done. I'm sure you'll be sailing together or falling out together overboard or whatever. Please enjoy your first course, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be back very soon. Thank you. Let's move into the next part of the Hero ERA Awards evening. Hope you enjoyed that first course. It's beautiful. Thank you very much indeed. We're going to start with a special award for outstanding contribution. The ERA and Hero on-event team. I'm going to ask Guy Woodcock, our competition director. Guy, come and join me on stage, please. Round of applause for Guy and all the work that he does. And I want to emphasise what Thomas was saying as well, because it's not just these route plans, it's stuff that's going on 3 years hence. And it's not just about being off-site. I mean, Guy competes, was navigating, competing. Roger Albert Clark, he just finished 17th, 91 finishes.
15th.
Sorry, 15th. I was going to say 17th, and I thought you'd kick me. 15th it was, but 91 finishes on that event, which was brilliant. And Will Rutherford, your navigator, is here with you tonight.
Yeah, he's meant to find his way here. He's not quite as good as well on the pace note, so but, yeah, thanks, Will. It was we actually had a great few days. Oh, he's over there. See? Yeah, we had a great few days. Unfortunately, we had to put up with Bob as well, who was the motorhome driver, which was interesting. And and Rachel, who prepared all the food. So yeah, it was a great few days. It was nice to actually get on the other side and enjoy myself for once.
2019 season, happy?
Yeah, very happy. I mean, a lot of events all across the world. The team really pulled together. I mean, from my point of view, we brought Nick Reeves and George Mullins in, who joined us in March. They sort of, I think baptism of fire is the word that springs to mind. I think they'll both agree with that. But they've been marvellous. The team in East Hendred, picking up and learning my slight foibles, shall we say, and learning how to work with me has been interesting. I'm sure Ellie will comment upon that at some point. And also the team in Kenvig who pulled together, and we delivered, as you say, a number of events which throughout this year I think I've been particularly impressed with. I don't think we got it too wrong. I think you've only got to look at the entries that we're getting for events going forward and the massive interest we've got in 2022 P2P.
Yeah, no, it is. And tell us about this special award tonight and who's actually going to win it.
I mean, the award goes really, as it says on there, it said before, for somebody who's sort of gone beyond the call of duty in helping us out over the year and many years previous to this. Those of you here last year will remember that we gave the award to Ian and Sue Butcher and Chris and Judith Warboys, who both, again, this year have been really helpful. But we felt this year it goes to a couple that have really stepped up to the mark on a couple of occasions, from being a recce driver for me and for other members of the team, turning out marshalling, chief marshal on a number of events, and the most important thing of the whole award is they provide me regularly with jelly babies, ladies and gentlemen. So the award for this year's, for the outstanding achievement and special award, goes to Graham and Sue Parkinson, ladies and gentlemen.
Great, yes, Graham, quick word. You can't go. Quickly, come here. Graham, Sue, come on. Quickly. I know. What, you're out there in all weathers, and as Guy said, there's so many things you've done. At any point when you think, what the hell am I doing out here?
When you just can't stop shaking, you're so cold. You think, what am I doing? But no, we love it. We do.
Well, what are you doing? We couldn't do it without you, and thank you very, very much indeed. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, please, for Graham and Sue, a very deserving award. Thank you, Guy.
Now, I'd like to introduce back onto the stage now Patrick Burke, the Managing Director of Hero and ERA, the Record Breakers Awards, which are very special to us. But Patrick, come on in here. The wonderful news about Michelin. Just elaborate a little bit.
Oh, it's a fantastic partnership that starts initially on the Le Jog, but that we are, of course, going to elaborate as time goes by and develop over the whole platform. It will bring benefits to the Hero store, to the membership packages. And again, welcome Lorenzo, welcome Peter. It is seldom that you actually meet people that have the same vision, the same understanding of partnership values, and this was evident 3 nights ago. We had a very nice and quaint dinner where we were ironing out the
contract.
little. And so we thought it was only normal to invite them to our own little quaint, nice
course,
dinner,
yes. I know how you work, Patrick.
But no, really. And
Lorenzo, you fell for it. Well done. Good. Thank you. Really pleased with that. Okay, but the competitors here are going to say, well, what's in it for us?
Oh, look.
Tyres, maybe?
Tyres, for sure, I'd say. But Michelin today is what I didn't do, actually, much more. Lifestyle, brands, clothes, this, that. So we give us time to elaborate a little bit as time goes by. But first and foremost, of course, it's tyres. It's access points to the Michelin world. And again, as I said, we will work together to develop this going forward and expand.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed for now, Patrick. And I'd like you to award those. It is great news. It is great news. Thank you. Thank you. As part of our Record Breakers and Special Awards, this is not just about winning Peking to Paris 3 times. It's competing in it 6 times. It's class awards. It's for winning just about every endurance rally there is, whether it's London, Sydney, or whatever. It's just amazing. if you think about marathon, you think about the events and keeping going, let's have a look at the big Aussie Leyland P76 in action. Big round of applause for record breakers. Jerry Crown and Matt Bryson, come and join us on the stage, please, Jerry. Here they are, all the way from Australia. It's great to have you with us. Jerry, please come up on stage here. Matt, great to see you as well. Jerry. If you just all stand together and have a quick picture together, that would be great for the record. Now, there was, Jerry, there was a reference there to your age, and it would be impolite to ask you exactly what it is now, but you're still going strong, you're still winning like hell, so what's the secret? Is it all in the genes?
Can I have it? Yeah. It's 2 G's. It's God first, and it's genes the second. My mother was just on 100 when she died. My father was 96, so that's got a lot to do with it. And while I've got the opportunity, though, a few words. I just wanted to say, first of all, thanks very much, Matt. He is the best co-driver, the best racetrack driver, and the best car builder in the business. And everything is down to him. Somebody asked me tonight, how did you get started in the rally thing? Can I put that there? Just a bit, thank you. The age, you know. My first rally was in 1963. Most of you weren't born then, so it was the BP rally, which in those days in Australia was the Blue Ribbon event. And I went in this thing with absolutely no idea what I was doing, except I knew I was the fastest driver in the world. It was only a money thing between Fangio and me that I wasn't. And most young men at that time thought the same as I did. Anyhow, I was in this rally in a Mini, and on the last day, the Sunday, we were doing very badly. And I said to my poor navigator, I said, look, we should go faster and catch up with someone so we don't keep getting lost. And we came around the corner and there was a photographer. And I thought, oh, here's an opportunity to show how good I am. So I cut the next corner as close as I could and put 2 wheels into empty air. We rolled down the mountain 8 times. Down the trees, fortunately, cushioned us a bit. We finished up about 100 feet down the mountain, upside down. And Jack Murray, a very famous name in Australia, Gelignite Jack Murray, he leaned over the cliff at the top. Are you all right? I said, yes, we're all right. He said, I'll get you a tow truck, etc., etc. The tow truck took hours and hours and hours. In the meantime, I looked at the car and I said to my friend, I said, I think it'll go. He said, you're crazy. I said, no, I think it'll go, providing we don't hit a stump dragging it up. So when the man arrived with the tow truck, I said, be careful. And he looked at this thing there. Anyway, sure enough, he pulled it up and we pushed the car, it started, we finished. We didn't actually finish, we went to a party. And the guy at the party said, have you finished? I said, no. He said, go to the finish. I said, well, come on, it's 6 hours after the finish. He said, yes, you never know. Anyway, the director of the event was coming out of the restaurant, he'd had dinner, and I handed him our card, and I won Best Novice. So that was the start. I rallied for about 7 years after that in Australia, including 2.5 years with Renault, where I didn't have to pay the bills, and that was good, and then I retired. But in 1995, my closest and oldest friend here in Britain, I was over here on business, showed me a thing from the Times newspaper. He said, look at this. And it was going to be a resurrection of the Peking to Paris. And he said, well, what about us doing that? I said, wonderful, why don't we do it? Yes. So, unfortunately, because he had a heart condition and we were going over the highest road in the world, he couldn't do it. So I rang up John Bryson, an old friend of mine. I'd rallied with him in Australia, and Matthew's father. John is a living legend. And I said, do you want to go from Beijing to Paris in a car rally? He said, yes. And that was the start of it. And you often hear the words life-changing in relation to these things, this thing that we do. And for me, it certainly was. Who was to know that 25 years later I'd be standing here talking to you like this with all the work we've done since then. So really what I'd like to finish with is to thank you, my friends, my fellow competitors, the people I love who are sitting in this room, and it would never have happened except for the wonderful sport that we're in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks as well, Jerry. Thank you, Matt. That's brilliant. Superb stories. I was going to say, one of the things I was going to add on that is that the Leyland P76 was such a disaster down in Australia that the Australians totally rejected it. And all these years later, Jerry Crown's made it so famous, they want to rebuild it and make it a Crown special. I think they should. I think they should. Very well done indeed. And we hope you join us in 2022, Jerry and Matt, you know. Oh, yeah, you go. Of course. Well, there you go. You heard it there. Good. You heard it there. Right, the next record breaker is an adventurer, architect, Dakar on 2 wheels, on 4 wheels, UIA Desert Challenges, marathon runner. But this feat of endurance, this feat of engineering that he pulled off was absolutely remarkable. After studying what happened in 1907 and looking at Auguste Pons, the only one of 5 vehicles that didn't make it all the way to Paris. In fact, Auguste Pons and his co-driver, Foucault, nearly died trying to walk back to Peking, running out of water and so on. So to do that, as Thomas was saying, on the Contal track 112 years later was unbelievable. A performance in finishing this incredible feat, he has rewritten history. Yeah, please welcome to the stage Anton Gunnarsson. So Anton to get his very special award there from Patrick Burke. It's great to see him here. And a picture together, please. A picture together, please, gentlemen, and then we're going to have a chat. Thank you very much. Anton, without going through everything that you've been through, it was amazing. But when you finally got to Paris, you were looking up to the heavens. So who were you talking to? What were you saying?
I don't remember. I mean, it was all in a blur, to be honest. 36 days is a long time. And once you get out of Mongolia, you think like, I have a chance, and then things happen, and it doesn't go your way, and then you have a little dip, and then suddenly you're in Finland, or where was it? And then you have the Baltics, and then it comes closer, and then suddenly there was Ypres, which was an amazing, nice party. We all loved it. And then there was this next day with a headache, so you arrive. And coming into Paris, there was this this traffic jam and stuff, and then you get over the finish line, and you don't realize what's happening. But I do now.
You do now. It's incredible the following that there has been for your exploits, even in the USA now with the national radio and the podcast recently. You must have been pleased with that.
Well, I was quite surprised of the reactions that there were, because I never thought that people were going to bother about a guy who's going on 3 wheels from Peking to Paris. But, I mean, there's you guys, there's Hero, and you've been more than partly responsible of the success of this project, this 2-year project that I started. And I can only be thankful not only for the press stuff and things and the recognition, but I must be very happy with what Guy and his whole team did during those 36 days. It was, without them, I would never have made it. So I'm very grateful and happy to be here.
Well, we are very pleased that you're here, and as Patrick said, you're in the Hall of Fame now, and thank you very, very much for it's been incredible feat, exploits and everything. Big congratulations from all of us to you, and to Herman as well. Please take his trophy back and give us his best. He was the man in the suicide seat, and you were a wonderful pairing. Many, many congratulations. Anton Gunnarsson, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible stories, as we know, from Peking, Paris 2019. Epic adventure. But also, like Anton, record-breaking crew in a 1910 white Pullman, which steamed its way nearly 12,000 miles the long way from Peking to Paris. The crew rebuilding furnaces, boilers as they went, so they could still huff and chuff their way along.
Oh yeah, we're ready. Only about 8,700 miles left.
We always knew we were going to get it.
Yeah, we were pretty convinced.
We're not quite sure when, but we knew we were going to get it.
We rebuilt the engine 3 times, and we took it down to nothing. Absolutely engine gone. And out, took every piece apart, put it back together again, and got it to run each time.
You got the record for a distance covered by a steam-powered vehicle. You got a cap that says steam is the future. Is steam still the future after the experience of the last month?
Well, most people don't realize it, but steam provides about 80% of all the power that the world uses.
Just a number of fantastic stories from Peking to Paris. Mitch Gross couldn't be here himself, but his navigator and engineer who worked his boiler off during that time to get that steam car distance record is, welcome to the stage, Christopher Rolfe. Christopher, you're very welcome, and thank you for coming last minute. It's very, very kind of you. How on earth did you keep that all going?
It was pretty tough at times. There were moments, particularly in the third engine rebuild, when we thought we weren't going to make it. But then we thought, well, if we took the best bits of both engines, the bottom of one, the top of another, put it together in that hotel car park in Tallinn, and then it all came together and we managed to get it going again.
But you had to wear those massive, big, sort of steam-proof, fireproof gloves as well. It must be difficult to work in those.
Yeah, it was actually, but it was more to stop the camels biting in Mongolia, really, when you're feeding them.
Well, I'm going to ask you, sometimes you had to go your own way as well, your own route. It must have been absolutely desolate at times. Any dodgy moments?
Really too many to mention. The worst bit really was we broke down on the first off-road day after UB, Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, when the oil pipe fractured on the side of the engine and they couldn't get the broken bit out. And so we had to go back to UB to repair it, and then we were 2 days behind the rally. We had to get to the border on the day, or we didn't get across. So we then had 1,800 miles to do across the south side of Mongolia to get there. And they told us, oh yeah, it's a hard road all the way. So we set going. We realised we were going to have to drive through one night. And about 10 o'clock at night, the road wasn't there anymore. It was on 2 sets of mapping software. It was on a paper map, but it wasn't there on the ground. So we were driving 36 hours straight through nothing, basically, just following a dot on a GPS system to try and stay roughly in the right place. And that was pretty tough, that was.
Well, you ended up in Paris and breaking the steam vehicle distance record as well. Congratulations to you, Christopher. Give our very, very best indeed to Mitch Gross and give him his trophy as well. Big round of applause, please, for Christopher Rolfe. Thank you, Christopher. And the last in this segment is the youngest podium sitters. And part of our enjoyable job is bringing on the young talent, attracting them, bringing the new blood into the sport, which Thomas was talking about before, which is very, very important indeed, the lifeblood. And it's good to recognise them with a reward like this. And if you listen to the philosophy in this short interview, it's quite interesting. But let's watch the youngest chain gang I've seen for a long while.
Sideways to third place, was it not?
Well, in my opinion, we're here to have fun, and if you're not going sideways, you're not having fun. And with such an amazing car like this, you just got to have fun. You got to go sideways. You got to make people smile and laugh. So that's what we try to do.
And that was it. They were sideways the whole time, but there was a great battle between Peter Lovett and David Richards there, which went on throughout the duration of the event. Third on the Flying Scotsman, the podium then for Theo Hunt and James Gallagher. Neither of them could be with us tonight, sadly, unfortunately. We are going to make sure that the trophies, the special awards, go to them for that. I'd like to thank you, Patrick, very much for this. Thank you. Yes, Managing Director. Enjoy your main courses. We will be back after that. Thank you.
Silenzio, per favore.
Just checking I've got them.
Do you even know what you're right?
Ladies and gentlemen, now for... ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Now for the final part of the awards for Hero ERA. I hope you're really enjoying the evening so far. From my point of view and from the team's point of view, we're just really enjoying tonight and having you all with us and being able to celebrate the achievements of some of these incredible drivers and navigators over 2019. The Golden Roma trophy is next for navigators over the Hero season. So I'm going to ask the Royal Automobile Club Chairman, Ben Cousins, to join us back on the stage and present these prestigious awards. Thank you very much indeed, Ben. Now this first one, we'll do them in reverse order, is for the third place navigator. Now he's as famous for his winning ways as he is for the perpetual pencil sticking out the top of his ear. He can make a driver great. He even ended up training a racing driver to go rallying, and he got him onto the podium.
applause, please, for Martin Taylor. £166.5 points. Fifth overall on the three legs of man and first in class. Second overall, first in class on Rally of the Tests as well. Martin Taylor also does a lot of work with the team and with Guy's team, especially around Flying Scotsman as well. You've got to come and have a word, haven't you, Martin? I know how you... Yeah, he's looking at me like, yeah, what are you going to say, mate? Well, anyway, Paul Bosdet, who trained you, he says... says that you're now better than him. How do you answer that?
Well, first of all, I think he's sacked because he's actually navigating for me when I drive next month on an event. So.
Oh, have I put my foot in it? Oh dear, that's sorry. But it's true, you did. A racing driver, a Porsche circuit man, a roundy man, came along and you moulded him, kicked him, whatever you did, and there you were, podium. You are not tongue-tied, are you?
He just did as he was told.
Well, let's just talk about your success over the last two events, particularly on Le Jog with Paul Dias. Whenever I was interviewing you, I said, he's really driving well, isn't he? And what did you say to me?
First of all, I think that that was a little bit of a misquote that you printed in the All-Stage there, Tony.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. You know how it works. Anyway, you said, don't congratulate him in his driving. He'll all get big-headed. I want to keep him working hard. That's what you said, actually, yeah. So this is what he does, and this is what a navigator does. It's the toughest job, though, isn't it?
Well, I think actually...
It's really going well. I'm really enjoying this. Few people have fallen asleep. Someone's got his head in the soup over there. Martin Taylor, yeah. Oh, well, mate. Oh, yeah, well, Martin Taylor, he's gone. I was always told when to cut my losses, and I definitely cut them really quick there. Ben, you've got to stay, please. You have to do all the way to the winner. Yeah. You can fall asleep standing up. Second overall in the Golden Roma Trophy goes to a really top young navigator who really loves her role, working in that job and in the sport. Popular, hard-working, very skilled. Let's take a look at her, one of the best female navigators in the sport. Elise White, second overall, 228.5 points. She also wins £1,000 towards her 2021 Hero event. And if she doesn't want to use that for an event, she can use that at the Hero store. So we still keep the money somehow. Thomas, it's quite good, that, isn't it? Elise, tremendous, but not quite winning it again. You couldn't do Le Jog.
No, couldn't do Le Jog this year. It's very difficult because I usually work around the time of Christmas, so it's very difficult to commit to Le Jog. So just missed out. It's such a shame. But worthy winner to Roger over there.
Oh, praise indeed. But indeed, he had a great season. You look at London, Lisbon, some of the others. I take you to Iceland. What a giant killing act that was in second overall.
Iceland is amazing. If you haven't been, you must go. It is phenomenal. And we've got Trygve here as well. There you go. Hello. He's from Iceland. It's just amazing. Every time you turn a corner, it's like being in a different land. And coming second overall in such a small engine car with my sister was just absolutely amazing.
Now, a word for the younger navigators and especially the female navigators and drivers who are coming through. We're seeing a bit of an increase now, aren't we?
Yes, it's great to see younger people. When we first started, I think it was just me and my sister, and we felt very outnumbered, and it was very daunting. But now we've got more younger people getting involved, we've got women getting involved, and it's just amazing. The competition is just getting tougher and tougher. So, yeah, let's keep getting younger people involved.
Well, we're trying. So, 2020, what's the programme?
2020, I'm spending a lot of time in Europe with one of my drivers, Daniel Gresley.
Ah, the Swiss. Evening, Daniel.
So we're going to be spending a lot of time in Europe. We're going to try and do some rallies with my sister, but it all depends on money, because I am getting married this year.
Oh, well, also depends maybe, not just the Christmas work, when you have to go back and do your acting and so on. Big congratulations from all of us. Elise White, ladies and gentlemen. And so to our winner of the prestigious Golden Roma Trophy, scored 243 points, second in class on the Hero Challenge, first in class on London-Lisbon, 6th overall in the Summerall Trial, and first in class, and a gold medal and first in class on Le Jog. He used to be a driver, but he ran out of navigators, he told me, and then he ran out of cars, so he switched to being a navigator. Now, who's going to be your main opposition for Golden Roma this season?
I don't know. Could be anybody. Pete Johnson, Ian Canavan, the White Sisters. Could be anybody, couldn't it?
Welcome onto stage, please, Roger Bricknell. Roger, I know why you're walking slowly. Please come on up. He's put his operation off to come and collect shows. He's meant to have his hip fixed. That's a brave man. I'll have a round of applause for Rog. So that's staying out of hospital.
I only know that because Ian Canavan came up and told me, and he was one of the former winners. And I won't keep you too long standing on your hip because I know you're going straight from here to hospital. But you're the only man to win the Hero Cup, which you did in 2011, and now you've won the Navigators Award for 2019. That's very impressive. Are you pleased?
Well, I'm delighted, yes. Yeah. Because I say any fool can drive. Most fools can navigate with a map, but not many fools can do the timing. So I learned it, and I'm pleased I learned it, but I've had a lot of great help. Thomas in particular is very good at maths, and between us we correct our errors, which is the biggest thing in rallying, because you're making errors all the time, but it's correcting them that's the important thing.
And as our Thomas said, it did go down to the wire, and it was touch and go. At one stage you hit a big boulder, the rim was wrecked, you were changing the wheel, and everything had changed. That must have been a tense moment.
Well, it was, but I mean the penalty was only 1 minute, so whilst that technically cost us a medal, a gold to silver, but other things did as well. On a long event, all sorts of things can happen.
Well, here you are, Golden Roma winner with the award. Roger Bricknell and Thomas Bricknell, we need to say well done, Thomas, for your driving as well. Brilliant.
Can I just say that if Ian Canavan had not had his unfortunate accident, this result would have been totally different. Well done, Ian, on your recovery.
Well done, Roger Bricknell. Ladies and gentlemen, the Golden Roma Trophy, an incredible trophy, and a free entry for Roger, a red event or a black graded event in 2021. So that's great. And a quick word about the exquisite trophies that you see here. Thank you, Roger. Thank you very much indeed. Take it easy. You can see, thank you, Ben. Yes, you can sit down. Thank you, Ben Cousins, the chairman of the Royal Automobile Club. Really appreciate that. The exquisite nature of these trophies and the unique nature of them, this one and also for the Hero Cup as well. They've been designed and beautifully constructed by Stefano Notargiacomo, and he is with us tonight with his wife, Stefano. It's Notargiacomo Design. And if you go onto his website, you can see how he's been inspired by Porsche, by Alfa Romeo. Even one of his trophies has a fantastic old block of a Fiat, and it really is fabulous. And we were delighted with the trophies. So, Stefano, thank you very much indeed for that. We're really, really pleased by that. So I'd now like to invite David Richards, CBE, to the stage, who is the chairman of Motorsport UK, to present our final awards. A big round of applause, please, for David and all the work that he does. David, please, just a quick word, if you wouldn't mind. In all the things that you've been doing in shaking up, not just the regulations, making it more affordable, so many things that you and your team have been doing for us. How do you see the progress of historic rallying in vintage and classic terms? Because you've competed as well.
No, you look around this room and you see it for yourself, the enthusiasm. But the great thing about historic rallying now, we're seeing a younger group of people participating, and we saw that just already this evening. And the enthusiasm for it, and it's growing all the time, and one of our challenges is to make sure that that sort of keeps going for the future as well. And looking at the list of events for next year, I just wish I wasn't so busy, because Karen and I have often thought about, wouldn't that be a great event to do? Iceland's on my agenda now.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much indeed, David, and thanks for presenting. There you go, Karen, did you hear that? Iceland, bit of navigating. We've got the thumbs up. I can't remember, the finger or thumbs up. I can't see what that was. Anyway, this is the 10th Hero Cup and the awards. So I think this is just kind of an epic moment, really, because from David's point of view, you know, he's a rally aficionado and he loves this branch of sport, and that's great. The third place driver is also ex-rallyman, tarmac rally champion, forest rally driver, etc. Been converted to classic car rallying. He just got stronger as the year went on and a little bit more sideways. Paul Dias, ladies and gentlemen, welcome up to the stage. Third overall, 149 points. Paul, come and have a quick word with us. What a year.
It's brilliant to be up here, isn't it? I mean, to have someone like David present me with this is just a lifetime ambition.
See, he doesn't get it, does he? But
You've got to tell a story, Paul, about the Clwyd Vale Classic and your instructions to me and all the training you gave me before the event.
Well, it wasn't really me. It was Mr. Taylor over there, who was obviously at the top of his game. And we had a brilliant weekend, didn't we?
We did, yes.
Well, I feel exactly the same way, so in awe, as we both are. However, you got this habit, particularly this year, in 2019, starting slowly and then just coming at an incredible pace and then getting on the podium.
We've done 4 Hero events, the Hero Challenge, Summer Trial, which we threw away. We were winning, and then we finished second, and then Rally the Tests, Prologue, 44th or something overnight, terrible, and we came through and finished third. I've got to thank Martin Pitt, who's not here tonight, who was brilliant. We just got stronger and stronger and stronger. And then we just had a fabulous Le Jog with Martin Taylor. And I've got to thank everybody from Hero. It's just been a fabulous year.
Well, you got this trophy, you got the gold medal there as well. I mean, there's no room left, is there, in your little mansion in the Midlands for any of this stuff now, is there? Aye?
what's the spare room full? So I've got to start on the ensuite now. But hopefully we can come back next year and let's try and, as we said on Rally the Cess, let's come and win it next year.
Congratulations. Paul Dyer, ladies and gentlemen, on our third place finisher.
Now, second place overall with 172 points. Had a great season as well, tremendous season. Second overall and master on the Hero Challenge. Fifth overall and first in class on London Lisbon. 8th overall in Hero Challenge 2, Rally the Test, 10th overall, 4th in class, a silver on Le Jog, a great driver consistently in the top 10. He so nearly won it coming down the rails right at the end. Big welcome, please, Stephen Owens. Great shots of Stephen there, pointing at Guy as he comes along. Stephen, many congratulations. Great to see you up here. Tremendous fight down to the wire. Stephen, it was so close at the end. It was a great fight, wasn't it, on Le Jog?
Yes, it was, but the competition and the lady that I was competing against, she was fantastic. She was brilliant. She's a driver, a really good competitor, and I knew that I was up against it right to the end. And it was an enjoyable event, but the only way that I could have won this event was by her falling down, and she didn't. She did a fabulous event. She won rightly.
And you're looking forward to ERA event. You're doing the New Zealand Classic in the Jaguar.
Absolutely. It's a 1937 Jaguar. It's 23 days of rallying. It's a tough event. I think it's a tough event because of the amount of time that an old vehicle like that has to do, but it's something that I'm doing with my wife as well, by the way. She's navigating for me.
You'll have to behave, won't you?
I don't think I'll spend as much time in the bar.
Oh, I don't know. Look, we'll go and see the odd rugby match or whatever. But really, a big congratulations from all of us. Final word is 2020. I know you're going to do a lot of events, so thinking you can go one place further and win this Hero Cup?
Yes, I'd like... I've come 4 times. I've come second in this event. What a loser! What a loser! I did actually beat Mr. Richards in one event, but 4 times I've come second. Last year I came third. Oh no, sorry, the year before I came third. Next year maybe, but there's a guy here that's been third today, a class driver. And I feel very humble to compete with all these people because they are quality people. They are good people, great competitors.
So are you. Thank you. Congratulations on your second place overall. Stephen Owens. And as Stephen was alluding to there, deserving winner of the Hero Cup 2019. She's driven both her Sunbeam Tiger and her Alfa Romeo with Verve, scoring 183.25 points to achieve a first overall. 14th overall on 3 legs of man and second in class, London to Lisbon, 4th overall in the Tiger, and that was quite a grueling event. Bronze medal and second in class, and she sealed it with this incredible job on Le Jog, as Stephen was saying.
So whether it's the V8 Tiger or the Sprightly Alpha, our winner is talented and determined. Let's see her in action. Is it galling for you that Mrs. Wignall is doing so well?
No, I'm very pleased that she's doing so well, and I hope she manages to win it. She takes it very seriously, and she's very good at it.
You see her Alfa Romeo Giulia sprint down in the rotunda down there, the winning car. Please, a big round of applause for our winner of the Hero Cup 2019, Jane Wignall. Oh, Jane, you're going to have to talk to me now. But it very nearly didn't happen. You very nearly didn't even get to Le Jog because you had a puncture on the third lane of the motorway. The electrics went wrong. It was just a tale of woe.
It was. I think the most frightening was having a puncture in the middle lane of the M5 in the pouring rain and the dark when I was alongside a lorry and the front puncture. Fortunately, I managed to get onto the hard shoulder. Fortunately, it wasn't a smart motorway. At least we had the safety of a relative safety of the hard shoulder to change it. And I only had one spare, so when we got down to Penzance, we managed to find another spare tyre. Not a winter one, but at least it was round and it was black.
And your teammate and husband, Paul, as he was talking about in the interview there, he was running out of tyres, and as you're a team of two Alphas, he said, right, I'm going to retire from the event to make sure that you had enough tyres. That was nice, wasn't it?
Yes, very. He had 2 punctures within 2 miles, and he was only carrying 1 spare. And it was on a regularity section, and he was about 10 minutes in front of us. So he waited at the side of the road until we came through, and then we stopped and gave him my Penzance tyre, and he put his punctured one back in our boot. And then when we got to Chester the following morning, he took the tyre off his car and gave it to me, and he wasn't able to do the next time control section because he didn't dare do it without a proper tyre. So he then managed to get a spare, and he retired, but then managed to go and do a bit of marshalling.
Oh, it's coming out as marching. I mean, that's love, isn't it? Hey, goodness me. Right, that Paul, you are the one. Tell you what, 14th of February, you're in, boy.
Not only that, Paul got his Alpha home, and then he picked up a pickup truck and trailer and carried on round the route, doing a bit of marshalling. And then, of course, he was at John O'Groats, so that at the finish, I was able to load the Alpha into the back of our trailer and drive home in comfort. So that was great.
I was going to say, this is a eulogy to Paul Wignall. And by the way, I didn't come to you at the beginning because between you and Mark Appleton, 11 times winning Rally of the Test, RSC Rally of the Test, can anyone else get a look in? I'm not sure. Anyway, this is about you. You've won a wonderful prize on Orianda from the Classic Yacht Experience, our sponsors tonight. I think Thomas might have something to do with that company, and so might Patrick. So would you like to have a little look? Why are you giving me that face? Do you know what's coming up? How about, here's your prize. This is what you're going to win. Look at this.
Yeah, very nice. So there we are, Jane. Somebody said that'll do, and I don't know whether they were referring to the lady coming out of the water or whether they were looking at the thing on deck. So what do you think? You looking forward to the trip on Orienda?
Well, I'm a bit nervous about it because I'm not really a sailor. And that's one of the reasons I don't navigate, because I get car sick, so I'll probably get seasick as well.
Well, we can take you on a pleasure boat in the Thames if instead of that. Or you could get some serious crash test training with Ben Cousins. He's an amazing sailor. He never throws up. We could do that. But either way, whatever you do, Jane Wignall, you are the Hero Cup champion. Round of applause for this wonderful driver.
Can I just say I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for my navigator, Kevin Savage, who is away skiing at the moment. He's not only a brilliant navigator, but he also prepares the car for me. So I'm fortunate in that respect that if anything goes wrong, then he's the one that can fix it for me, like he did on the jog when the exhaust fell apart on the event, and a few other problems along the way. And also, I'd like to thank Stephen Owens, who's been very gracious in conceding defeat, if that's the right word. I remember on one occasion on the Rally of the Tests a couple of years ago, we were on a road section driving over the Pennines towards Hawes, and it was dark, and we left Ingleton, and I was aware there were some lights behind me, but I didn't know who it was, but they gradually faded into the background. And when we got to Hawes, Stephen came over and said to me, "Do you know, I really couldn't catch you." But I did have a secret weapon, and that was that I knew the road like the back of my hand. So, but also on Le Jog, Stephen was very gracious in saying that he didn't really mind losing out to a lady driver, and I just wish him good luck this year, and you're a real gent.
There we go, Jane Wignall, thank you. You're our winner of the Hero Cup. Thank you very much to Jane. David Richards. Thank you very much, David, for presenting those prizes and for talking to us. There, a final picture with Francesco Rastrelli, and you've seen some of their pictures around on the screens, some of the still shots. You've also seen some shots from Will Broadhead as well. Jane, thank you very much. Big congratulations with that trophy. Thank you. Thank you to all our sponsors and to our partners, the Royal Automobile Club, Classic Yacht Experience, the Basic Roma Company, and welcome, a very big welcome indeed to Michelin. Thank you very much for being with us. I can't wait to try on my Babendum costume. I'm looking forward to that. Enjoy the photo montage, as I've said, and you can see our partners on there behind us. And as ever, from Drive TV as well, Gary Williams and all the wonderful work he and the editing team do to watch these wonderful videos they put together and the content they do. I would like for the prize winners, please, to make their way down to the rotunda, because as many of you know, this whole event is live on Facebook this evening. Apart from which, we need to get our stories and our social media sorted out downstairs. That would be great. We will move from here in the Mountbatten room at 11 o'clock, and we're going to go to the committee room just across the way, where we will continue our celebrations until midnight. But on behalf of everybody at Hero and ERA, thank you for being with us tonight. We hope you've enjoyed the awards ceremony. Have a wonderful 2020 season. Thank you very much from me, Tony Jardine.
Paul Dias, it's been a wonderful night so far, ERA Hero Awards, and you've been up on the stage receiving your awards. How are you feeling?
Tony, I never thought this was possible. I came to this lovely prize presentation last year and never dreamed we could actually come up and get an award. And halfway through the year, after rallying the tests, I thought, oh yeah, there might be a possibility. No. Looked at everything, no chance. We had a fantastic job. It was just incredible to be here.
Well, you got gold medal for the jog, you got first in class, you had a very strong finish to the year, and here you come here and you get onto the podium in the Hero Cup. It's not bad, is it, from 2019?
I've done a lot of rallying over the years, all different sorts of rallying and everything, and I came into historic endurance rallying 2 years ago, and it was hard. We struggled. We've got there, we've done some events and everything, we've got better and better, and normal slow start doing the better and better. We've done our best to try and mess it up. I've been running the test and the job, I've been on the end of the tow rope 3 times, and to get this is just been fantastic.
Well, listen, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you out in 2020, even stronger. Paul Dias, well done. Right, I'm going to get... Thanks.
Gentlemen, well, thank you very much. Okay, here we are. How do you want us?
Jerry Crown.
Stay there. Talk to Tony.
As we've alluded tonight, just 6 times on Peking to Paris, but winning it 3 times, class wins. Enormously grateful for you being here. I'm going to come to you first, Matt, because we go back to Peking Paris 2019. That was a really, really tough task, and Jerry's already said that a brilliant job you did, not just navigating, but keeping that Leyland going. How tough was it for you personally?
It was a tough event. It was one of the tougher Peking to Parises. It's the toughest we've had since 2010. 2007 and 10 were quite hard events as well. And it was just relentless. It had only had 4 days off in the 36, and it was absolutely relentless. And I think we didn't even realise it was over when it was over. We just got to the finish line and physically collapsed. But it was great. Absolutely the most rewarding event that you could do.
Jerry, your quote at the end, you said the organisers were right to keep Peking Paris tough, but was it tough enough for you?
I think it was just right. I think Chris did a wonderful job. And I think if they keep it at that standard that we did in last year, 2019, it'll be right. It's unique. It shouldn't be changed because that's why so many people are interested in doing it. It is the Grand Prix, if you like, of the rally world, the classic rally world.
What about this fellow though, Matt, filling his dad's shoes almost effortlessly and sitting alongside you and tending to your car?
Well, there's a number of things. First of all, Matt is a great car builder, and while ever John could organise building a car, he never actually did it himself, whereas Matthew actually sends parts out, of course, to be fixed and engines and things, but basically builds the car. And that's what it's all about. I mean, in my opinion, still, the rally is won and lost in Mongolia. Depends on how hard you want to drive through Mongolia to gain that lead without breaking the car. And the 3 times that we've won the event, we have come out of Mongolia in the lead. And it's down to Matt, because he's built the car so beautifully.
I think it's down to good teamwork too. We're a very good team. We get along. We never have had an argument, and we don't. We just get over things, move on. It's about the resilience to bounce back from a problem. It's not like we've had a faultless run. Every single time we've done one of these rallies, we've had a rally-ending problem or something that's potentially rally-ending. We've been able to bounce back very quickly.
Yes.
But I must just, Matt, ask you about this because it's an unlikely rally car, the Leyland B76. If you go back to the 70s when Leyland introduced the car down there, it was rejected by the Australians. Well, you two, and particularly with your preparation, as Jerry said, have made it a success. You've made it a cult car. So is there a possibility that we could see a Leyland Crown special?
No, because the company's long dead and buried. But I'd be happy to prepare one for someone if they wanted it. The car it's a sound car. It had its development problems from the factory, and it had its build quality issues. But it did win Car of the Year the year it was released. It was a technologically advanced car and quite a good car, just with build quality issues and the typical Leyland things that were happening just before the company went broke.
Jerry, we come to you. If you think about your rally experience relative to your age, the older you get, the better you seem to be. So what is your advice for rally drivers who want to carry on into their mature years?
Do you know what? At the beginning, I didn't want to talk about my age because I was continuing with my life without thinking about how old. But lately, I've changed my mind, and I'm encouraging people now who are not necessarily my age, but still feel they're getting old, to do it. Have a go. It's right. There's the right thing to do. I just want to bring one more thing up. You were talking to Matt about the car. The car was proven really in 1974 with the what was it called?
The World
Cup
Rally.
Rally.
1974 World Cup Rally.
Now that car was built with Leyland's help, but with John Bryson and Evan Green. And Evan wrote a magic book called A Boot Full of Right Arms, which was Philip
Young's favourite book.
Philip Young's favourite book. Okay? So that car, he didn't win the event, but it was the quickest car, right? And it was then that everyone, or we knew, John knew, it was a great long distance rally car. Don't forget it's light. It's big, but it's light. 5 litres, aluminium motor. Right?
Well, look, again, we celebrate your incredible 3 victories on Peking Paris.
Thank you.
We're really, really happy that you were able to join us in London Falls, and we really, really hope that you will join us on the event in 2022.
We're going to do that, maybe. Can I just say one thing before we finish?
Yeah.
And how much Thomas was in his speech talked about growing trees. I thought it was wonderful. And while we were on the rally, we went through China. China is the biggest emitter at the moment. But nevertheless, they were growing trees. And I don't know if anyone else noticed, but they were growing thousands of trees. And that is the best thing that I think the best news that I can tell you at the moment.
Well, I mean, just to reiterate what Thomas was saying, the Timberline Company are one of the biggest in the world in terms of reforestry.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that whatever we do, when we get the equivalent of missions and the trees are planted, they're planted by professionals and they actually grow and they actually put it back into
I think it's marvellous. I think it's wonderful, and all congratulations to the Hero organisation for doing it. It's good.
Jerry, thank you. It's lovely to see you.
It's lovely.
Matt, thank you. Thank you both very, very much.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Okay. Bye.
Sorry. Anton, s'il vous plaît.
Amazing.
Tony.
And where's Francesco? Right.
Are we live? Are we? What?
In the Royal Automobile Club, this is your first visit to Pall Mall and Royal Automobile Club. What do you think of the surroundings?
I think when I got here, I didn't even know where I was coming through. I thought I got this invitation and I thought like, okay, city trip to London, why not? And then I got here and I realized that I'm in the epicentrum, how do you say that in English? I'm in the center of the center, epicenter of classic rallying and rallying in general. I mean, the British have always been the most important, I think, rally guys in the world. And then all of a sudden, I'm in the RICB, and I love it. What an architecture! What a heritage! Look at the paintings. Look at the cups.
So, as an architect, do you appreciate its design?
Very much so. I like my classics.
But the Belgians are very adventurous, as we were discussing before. Whether it's been Paris-Dakar, whether it's been overland adventures, a lot of Belgians have been amongst the first to take part in that. You must have enjoyed tonight the applause that you received and the recognition for what you did on Peking Paris with Motor Tri, with the Contact. Did you enjoy the reaction?
Well, I was even surprised to be invited, to be quite honest. I thought that when I entered Peking to Paris with the tricycle, there was some sort of for me it was a project that was quite important, but I never realized people would find it important as I did. So when I did it, I already could feel that there was a response to it. But this is actually the party around the whole thing. I mean, I'm actually not only surprised, I'm extremely grateful. When you put me in front of those people who were sitting there, those important rally people who were sitting there in that room, I mean, admit, there's some names. And they applaud the fact that I drove a three-wheeler from Peking to Paris. I was extremely grateful and humbled, by the way. I mean, it's easily said, but I never expected this to happen.
However, if you go back to the very beginning, quite a few people said, Anton Gunnarsson, you're mad.
Quite a few.
But
people said I wouldn't make it.
But you did make it.
Yes.
You were first pioneer, you were 16th in the vintage class.
I told you.
Phenomenal.
I told you.
And the following now that is building for your exploits and the Contact means that what will you do next?
The question has been asked since I arrived in Paris, and my response has always been that the next big challenge is not to take on a challenge for the time being. I mean, it's been 6 months since we arrived from in Paris, and my hands still ache. Herman, the Herminator, still has problems in his back. I mean, we really took a beating, and we're still loving the effects. I mean, the positive effects that come out of it. So I'm driving in Papua New Guinea with an enduro bike next month and stuff like that. But that I don't call the next. That is for me not the next challenge. I don't know. I will be on the Peking to Paris 22 if you allow me. But how, I'm not sure.
When you think back also, one of the tasks that you set yourself was to literally lay the ghost of August Pons to rest, because when you'd studied the story you went, I'm going to finish the job for that man. So spiritually now, how do you feel? Do you think he's now resting in peace with this?
Sounds good, but you're absolutely right. I mean, first there was the story, and I got actually interested in the story, and that's how this whole thing happened. Now that it's done, it became something else for me. I'm very proud, and there's all this and festivities around it, and I love it. But I do think that big things are embedded in an historical context. And what I did was actually, and the whole rally is embedded in the historical context of the 1907 first event. And that's where it gets its authority from, I think, is grasping back to those roots of 1907 and actually bringing then the Cantal home, the fifth competitor. And I don't know if you've seen the picture where I am with all the original competitors in the middle.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
It's just hilarious, but that's what I mean. I really feel part now of the original 1907 Peking to Paris, sort of, and I think with that we achieved something much more than just driving from Peking to Paris on a tricycle. We sort of brought past and present finally together.
Taking yourself back to the past and studying and reading all the books about it, do you think now there was a conspiracy against Pons led by Borghese to kind of leave the little man out and not tell him about fuel, etc.? Do you think there was some skullduggery on
There was no conspiracy. It's just what we all endure in our present modern lives also. The little guy is just forgotten. And he wasn't just left behind by the other ones semi-consciously on the Peking to Paris in 1907. He was also forgotten in history. You can hardly find, when I started this project, I started to try and find pictures. There were like 6 pictures on the internet of Auguste Pons. And then I tried to contact his relatives and I found one. And then I tried to find out where Cantal Motoffri was made. And then, you know the story, I bought the brand and because it was just forgotten. They've forgotten all about it. And everybody thinks there were 4 competitors in the original. No, there were 5. And I think setting that right gives me as a Belgian a bit of the feeling that I've done something righteous, something that should have been done a long time ago. Because after all, he was the bravest of them all.
You have in effect rewritten history, so I think completed the circle, which is brilliant. Anton Gunnarsson, we applaud you yet again. We want to say thank you for joining us at the Royal Automobile Club. And all your adventures that entertained us and kept us on the edge of the seat while we were watching from thousands of miles away, and all your trials and tribulations. It's just been a marvellous story, a marvellous adventure. Thank you very much.
It's been an honour. Thank you very much. Cut. Something happened to your system. Oh.
So, what a fabulous story from Anton Gunnarsson, adventurer, off-piste skier, marathon man. He has a lovely old vintage Bentley, a great architect. You heard him talking about this. It's just a delight and a pleasure to listen to a man like that. And now he's off on his motorcycle into Papua New Guinea or whatever adventurers do. But we really hope that you've enjoyed the Hero ERA Awards tonight. And I'm sorry if there have been a few little gaps for you and us just trying to find people for you at the end so you can listen in on the interviews. But it was a very, very lively audience. All our deserving recipients of the awards as well are happy. We will carry on enjoying the rest of the evening. Hope you enjoy your evening and join us again very, very soon on the ERA website and the Hero website. Good night to all of you.